Yo, guys, very, very good afternoon to all of you. It's 3:42. I've been getting hammered with two topics. This is going to be short, maybe 6, 7, 8 minutes, something like that. The first topic is I'm hearing a lot of people. In fact, let me read this one thing from a gentleman, a young man who said he had been listening to Spaces and that for a couple of years he had thought that the Bitcoiners, the old timers, the guys just talking about investing in Bitcoin were a little myopic and stupid and self-absorbed. And yet he was really cool. Made a comment. He said, "Hey, he texted me. He said, I was listening to your Spaces last night, and it's starting to make sense what you guys are talking about." So first off, I just want to commend this young man. Sorry, I can't find his name. Hopefully I will. I'll repost it for sure. One, there is nothing bigger and stronger than someone who can reevaluate their own opinion on something and change their mind. Awesome, awesome skill. I know very, very, very capable, able, smart people. Some of them have been my partners who I look at it today and I look at them and go, wow, your biggest fault and your biggest, I think, exposure is your unwillingness to look at other people's ideas and consider that you're wrong. I think considering if you're wrong or not is a monster capability. But if you become so egotistical and self-centered that you can't even consider that someone else could be right, monster liability for you for the rest of your life. And any partners that get involved with you. Now, let's talk about freaking Bitcoin. We have a 103,586 print. We're now at 106,631. 106,631. It's been going up all day. Last Friday, which was 4 days ago, we had a Moody's downgrade, first ever since at least the 80s. Ho-hum, as I predicted this weekend, that the markets would go red and then they would turn green. They did most certainly. S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ. They basically said to Moody's, we don't care what you do or what you say about America. We're selling, we're buying whatever you're selling. Meaning they're not buying what they're selling. They're just, Moody's, you're not really relevant. I actually don't think, I've always been shocked that these rating agencies could be, and you're going to probably find this surprising. The rating agencies like Moody's and Fitch, is it? And there's another one, S&P. These are public companies, okay? They're profit. They're for profit, and their job is to monitor big public companies and money and sovereigns and credit lines. So I don't know. Doesn't seem to be anybody who gives a fuck about Moody's. Outdated tool, baby. If you needed a credit check and we were on the blockchain, you wouldn't need Arthur Andersen, McKinsey, any of these audit firms or any of the Moody's or the S&P. So you just have it on the blockchain. See, all of those middlemen who are just doing something that we should already have made available to us in public documentation, all those companies are basically doing something, one, that seems to get altered by the time it gets to you and I, but two, and most importantly, they're totally unnecessary. Literally, you're sticking mass pieces of middlemen inside doing business between you and I, what we want to see. And there are so many intermediaries that not only is the information getting distorted, but it's also coming at an extreme cost. Entire corporations like Moody's just to do credit checks that are public. Wow, we have turned almost everything into a way of making money without producing anything whatsoever. This is my big complaint to my Wall Street buddies who all say that the 10-year note needs to come down. The 10-year is not going to come down. The 10-year is going to go up because no one's going to loan money at 4.5% to 5% for 10, 20, 30 years. I don't know anyone. If you offered them $1 trillion, they wouldn't take 5% money for 10 years. I'll take $10 trillion and I'll deploy all of it within a year. I don't understand how people are thinking the 10-year treasury note, because it was distorted, held down, suppressed 5 years ago, how a 5% 10-year note is going to break anything. So I don't get it. But let's say that it does. Let's pretend like it does. Bitcoin is assuming the entire market breaks because it's trading at 106. 6 weeks ago, you who were listening to this could have bought Bitcoin at $76,000, $30,000. That is a 50% move, okay? Like, and everyone's waiting for a God candle or more movement. I'm looking at this going, you just had a $30,000 move, and you guys are worrying. You're now thinking about buying 92. You passed on the 76. When you do this, it exemplifies you do not have a clear strategy. Okay, like if you're arguing with Coinbase or Binance or Kraken over 12 cents, trying to buy $76,000 even Bitcoin, and you missed it because it went to 76,012 cents. It's silly, okay? Like, I have a friend who he needs to buy. They're going to buy, I think, about 1,000 Bitcoin, and they haven't deployed even. They haven't deployed 7-8% of it yet. They're waiting for 75 and 80. And see, this is the thing. This is the thing, because I know these type of people. Okay. These type of people, I mean, let's try to get in the mindset of the kind of guy that's going to do this. It's not going to be me. It's going to be someone who maybe is more conservative than me. They've studied it. It took them a little longer to study it. Maybe their lives are more complicated. Maybe it's a corporation. They're having to do things differently. All of that introduces time and friction. And the cool thing about Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. Bitcoin doesn't care how long you take to consume this data and understand. Bitcoin doesn't care how many X spaces you sit in pretending to learn anything. It doesn't care whether you read 13 books, 3 books, and did nothing, or if you were a whale from 10 years ago and you sold out at 7,000 or 20,000 and you just cannot even fathom buying at 106 because your last weighted average Bitcoin cost was probably 16 grand. Can you imagine sitting on 16,000 or $1,600 Bitcoin, having sold it, and now looking at it going, oh my God, man, everybody and their brother is talking about Bitcoin. That wasn't happening when you paid 1,600. Not only didn't it happen, the only people that were talking about were trying to, now no one's trying to kill it. It's a 106. Look, what I'm talking about is 3-letter word. It is a 3-letter word, and it costs so much money, it's outrageous. E-G-O. That's right, E-G-O. Ego. Okay, ego, and a misunderstanding on money, and a misunderstanding on supply and demand, the likes no one has ever seen before. This is really, really important, okay? Like, I have a lot of friends who have created a lot of cool things in their lives. Billionaires, guys worth hundreds of millions of dollars, guys that have built businesses and don't have them anymore. Successful people that became unsuccessful, and then successful people that failed that then became successful again. And they just keep doing it over and over and over again. Look, these are champions, right? Over and over, sustainable champions. That's the guy you want to follow, not the one-hit wonder. Do not follow one-hit wonders. We're at 106,900. We're going to do 107 right here while I'm on the show. Watch this. So what I'm trying to say to you is, look, let's just say that we're at 106.9 right now, and I haven't bought any Bitcoin. I have been listening to this since 30. It doesn't matter if you bought it or you didn't buy it. If you made a bunch of money before and you didn't this time, whatever. Dude, this is May the 20th. A new hand is being dealt right now. That hand says 106,923. I have $100,000. Let's say I have $10,000. I buy 10% of this right here. I start taking clips of it. Let me pull the chart up here. Let me just show you what I'm looking at. And look, I could be wrong. Okay, like this could go down. I don't think it has much more. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Trading. Let's see. Hopefully, this won't take me too much time. I have all this security built in. It takes me forever to get all this stuff. I'm gonna take the Scott Melker's approach while there's a convention coming up. Guys, I don't control my own Bitcoin. My life is highly, highly complicated. It's been involved in no less than 3 or 4 litigations. If you think you can grab me and in a taxi in Vegas, or grab my kids, or do anything, come to my house and do a smash and grab, like, you need to just come in here and shoot me in the face, because You're not going to get any Bitcoin. You might get a couple of dollars. I mean, I probably have a couple of $10,000 bags of US dollars around here. That will take you like, let's see, if you can get past the two dogs, all the security and the cameras, and the immense amount of weapons I have in this house. And quite frankly, I won't even think about it. You're in my house. I will shoot you in the face 13 times and then I'll call it. I mean, I wouldn't even think about it. Like, you come in my house, I'm shooting you fucking full on. Now, let me get I start talking about people stealing shit from me and I get all jacked up. Now, where was my, here we go. Oh, wow. I wanted to see all these scams out there. This thing was trying to take me to a different site and tradingview.com and wanted me to log in under a different name. See? Hey, you guys really, 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 really need to pay attention, okay? There are so many scams going on right now. I'm getting emails, and this is the reason Melker keeps saying this, is like, we're getting emails every day about breaches, and these are phishing attacks, right? They're trying to get us to respond and get on a phone call with them. Don't answer your phone from a stranger. Don't answer your phone from a stranger. If somebody really needs to get a hold of you, Coinbase, Kraken, those people probably have your real phone number. Okay, look. Okay, here we are. I am fairly good at this stuff, guys, and I live a good life, so I get to have the karma. But check this out: 107.08, baby. You could have bought Bitcoin at $1,000 cheaper just a little while ago, and you're arguing. Look, this is the only thing that you must be thinking, okay? First off, let's say you only have $1,000 to invest. Do not tell me that you're going to put $1,000 into Pookie Mookie Moonpig or Peppy when you can buy the ETF, okay? You can buy $100 worth of ETFs every day. You could buy $100 worth of Bitcoin every day. You could buy $100 a month of Bitcoin, put it in custody. You could buy $1,000 worth of ETFs. You could buy MicroStrategy. Most certainly, when you're considering buying Mookie Pookie pin code, Peppy King, or Gary Coin, or XRP for that matter, this is my frustration with you guys. There are other solutions out there. Like if you're going to go and you want a part of the crypto world, do you ever consider MSTR? Do you consider MetaPlanet? Do you consider any of the companies that are putting Bitcoin on the reserve? This is what I don't understand about the guys that are doing the meme coins and the tokens. Like all the focus is on, okay, I need to buy these really, really cheap things that are priced in the fractions of pennies. Why wouldn't you just buy Satoshis? Why wouldn't you just buy Satoshis? By the way, it surprised me that someone hasn't come out and actually sold Satoshis. I don't understand why the exchanges aren't allowing people to buy Satoshis. And they'll feel better about it because they can go, I want to buy $1,000 worth of Satoshis, and they end up with however many that. Second thing, look, I'm not here to talk down to anyone, okay? I didn't start doing these spaces 2 years ago so I could talk down to people. I most certainly don't need to be doing that or this, and I'm actually trying to help people. The reason I'm trying to help people is I've always had all this content. I've had this experience in my life. Combined with other people that are all coming from different parts of the world, I'm a very good collaborator. So for me to come on some of these shows and communicate, fit in with David and fit in with Scott and all these smart guys all over the world, it's giving you education and information I never had. For me not to participate in that would be leaving you guys with less information. Look, I have information about the whole Enron era, 2000 era, the 1980s collapse, the dot-com bubble. I've lost millions and millions of dollars chasing cheap things. You know what? I've lost millions of dollars. I mean, when I say millions, I'm talking about many, many millions. My brother thinks I'm crazy. He's like, dude, and I don't really get jacked up about it because I know I can produce. See, when I hear people say they can't make a consolidated trade and they're not a little nervous when they pull the trigger on that trade, I think you're telling me that you have lost your belief in your belief in your ability to outproduce any problem. And I've just never had that. Like I do well when I have problems. I don't do so well when everything's going well. So look, we're at 106.8. Okay, we just punched through 107. We're going to play in this field for a space. Okay, we're going to play here for a little while. We may have a little workout here. I'm maybe we do. It's Wednesday. It's Tuesday, dude. It's just Tuesday. Okay, it's just Tuesday, and this was. You see this where my mouse is? That was excuse me. That was 1 month, and excuse me. That was 31 days ago. 31 days ago, you could have bought Bitcoin anywhere here. Do you know the amount of ego? The guys that are running GME, my twin brother, every other swinging player in the marketplace. Look, what do these guys all have in common? Very strong opinion. Every one of them. Every one of these cats, GME, did it all by himself against everybody's beliefs. My twin brother, everybody said he was an idiot. Bang. Myself, all the rogues. Okay, so all the not rogues, but dude, these are people that did it their way, right? They chose to go down a path that most people don't go down, and they've done well. So imagine a guy like my twin brother. And I'm not picking on Grant. I could pick on the guy at GME. I just don't know him. I could pick on my buddy down the street who's a monster real estate guy. And he's been watching me buy Bitcoin since 16 grand. He thinks I'm going to go broke until about 2 days ago. And now he's like, it's most certainly not going away. Now, that guy has $140 million worth of real estate, all commercial. He won't buy Bitcoin until it's 200 grand. You're so early, it's stupid. Okay. There is no one in Bitcoin yet. You guys listen to these spaces. This is an echo chamber. Okay. There's nobody here. 1,000 people on a space is nothing. There's 8 billion people on this planet. 106, 775. I need you guys to man up, okay? Man up with a plan. This is the problem. You don't have a plan. You're comparing moon pigs for a 6-month run with Bitcoin, King Kong, Cat Daddy, Mutt's Nuts, the bee's knees of all investment categories, and you're trying to buy moon pig or United Healthcare. Yo, I mean, like I got it, $250 for United Healthcare. It just got wiped $280 billion off their freaking equity stack. Let me say that again. $260 billion wiped out. We'll have DOJ and federal lawsuits, I don't know for how long. Class actions are going to come after them. And if they committed fraud, which I suspect they did, I think most of these public companies have been committing hara-kiri. You know why? Because if you get away and you do it once, this PPP thing that happened in COVID, the behavior never got corrected. They've been messing with these books, EBITDA, post EBITDA, EBITDA post COVID. Here's my perceived EBITDA had COVID not happened. Then they give you $2 million when you don't even need it, that you don't have to report. That all hits the bottom line. These companies have become so paralyzed with actually competing properly. Wait till automation, AI, and crypto hit them. Okay. Wait till crypto comes to adult gaming, and you see Visa lose 10, 15% of their stock value overnight. And everyone in between Visa and MasterCard. Because look, Visa and MasterCard make somewhere near 8 billion, somewhere between 15 and 25% of their total revenue stream comes from value added services. This is the way you have to look it up in their quarterlies, in their annuals. So 15 to 22% of their total revenue comes from value added services. Guess what that is? Fraud prevention, fraud fees, fines, and services, licensing fees. They charge $50,000 a month to a adult merchant just to keep one $500,000 mid up. And they'll do that 50, 60, 70 times a month because they want these operators to run multiple mids. In fact, they make them run multiple merchant accounts, multiple banks, multiple methods of processing so that the banks themselves, not the merchant, but that the banks themselves don't get hammered with fraud fees. The cost of processing a credit card transaction for pornography for an adult person, for an adult, a game, These are just digital transactions. Whether you like adults or not, it is not the issue. Why does Visa get away as a 72% dominant player with MasterCard as a duopoly? 72% of all credit cards are Visa MasterCard. They make somewhere between 15 and 25% of their total income on fraud services that, by the way, has done nothing but go up in a greater ratio than the entire CAGR of growth on the internet. Both these firms were allowed to buy two fraud firms, of which these two products are the only products available in the world like them to prevent a chargeback. In fact, that allows a merchant to be sustainable longer if you believe chargebacks is actually an indicator of fraud. That's a whole other discussion. That discussion most certainly will not win in court. So, guys, there's so much going on here, okay? When you start thinking about a gamer paying 20% for a $50 transaction to processors, credit card companies, and fees, 20%. See, this is the problem with legacy. They do everything they can to expand their margins to a point where it's so big, but nobody calls the DOJ. They fucked up here. The gap between digital and what legacy is doing is so massive. I don't think any of these companies can survive it. Because see, once this switches and goes digital and goes to cryptocurrency, a method to be able to bypass the credit card payment system that literally was built for something in 1970, 60 years ago, roughly 60 years ago. It was built 60 years ago. And now what they're doing, now the internet's shown up in 2001, okay? And it's sitting on top here. Visa, MasterCard, Amazon, and PayPal in the 70s, in the 80s, they were like, well, the internet, nobody's going to buy anything on the internet. 2000 comes around, they realize the internet's actually working. You have a lot of people buying stuff through the internet. And then what do? They literally start adding rules on top of their platform. Their platform was built for really slow business. Me walking into a candy store, giving them a check or fiat or a credit card, me signing a piece of paper, walking out with my receipt, and I leave. Now, a good 40% of that's done online. There's all of it's anonymous. You don't know what if 2 o'clock in the morning was the person buying that transaction. Were they drunk? Was it really them? They made 600 million discrete declines and/or chargebacks a year in the credit card process. When I started in 2012, we thought there was maybe 5 million. And we were so off, it was ridiculous. The system itself is flawed. It was built, quite frankly, the best analogy is, hey, it's a railroad. It's a railroad with a bunch of connections. And when the connections stop, when the physical connections stop, they make them up with what they call, not bridge, rails. The rails, by the way, these rails, I keep asking everyone from Visa and MasterCard, American Express, for 10 years, I'd meet the most senior people and they'd use the word rails. And I'd be like, hey, by the way, can you show me where those are? And they all would look at me like I was doing a trick. When I think of rails, I think of a big old piece that cost $1 billion built from the Marcellus Shell in Pittsburgh all the way down to the Henry Hub in Texas. That's a rail. Piece of pipe or a piece of wire on an electric grid. A rail between Bank of America and First Data to answer customer service questions. It's not a rail, man. It's a partnership. They do these paper partnerships and you're going to behave this way and I'm going to behave this way. And guess what? We're going to charge our customers. And it becomes an income stream. It becomes a business. And that business then begins extracting from the very clients they serve. The entire payment system, all the credit card business, it is the most inefficient. First off, it is the most inefficient business I've ever seen in my life. Secondly, it is laced with complicit criminal activities at the most senior level. That's right. I said it. At the most senior level, complicit criminal organized activity is allowed, it's perpetuated, it's encouraged and rewarded. And it's one of the biggest crimes in humanity. I really wish in America people would really understand how abusive this system is, Joe Public is absolutely getting slaughtered. Nonetheless, that is why I don't have a credit card. I have an American Express card that I never use past this. I pay my bills off every month. I don't do credit unless I go do credit with a major player bank that gives me some freedom in how I take that credit. 106, 9,000. 106, 9,000. I know, man. You're sitting there going, Gary Cardone was buying 27, 32, 37, 42, 47, 52, 57, 62, 66, 67, 68, 69, 72, 75. And we were talking about this. Hey, 75, it's going to happen. We're not going to get back here. Okay? You would have to have a 30% retracement now from 106 to get back into the high 70s. It won't matter in 4 years. Now, maybe in 12 days you can buy this again for 88, maybe. If you have any money in 12 days, buy it at 88. But if you're on zero, dude, pull the trigger. Okay, like you need to get in the game. You don't have to be the lowest cost player. Michael Saylor isn't getting the lowest price. Y'all laugh at him sometimes when he buys it. My brother's like, man, Cat pays whatever he needs to pay. I'm like, see, Saylor's a very smart guy. He understands I can't beat the market. Anyone that says they can beat the market, it's the market. Even the outlier, man, the guy that makes a tremendous amount, he is part of that average. So I just implore you guys, okay, one, don't listen to people unless you know they have a shitload of money, experience, and wealth of information. Don't listen to someone you cannot validate. If you can't validate the guy, hell, DM the guy, go, hey man, can you give me some proof you're really a player? And if he bitches about it, go, Gary, I don't have a problem. I mean, Gary Cardone's out there talking about stuff. He seems to be pretty open and transparent. My brother will tell you how much he's worth. I don't get it. Okay, there's something weird in the crypto community when a guy said, bro, how long are you? How big are you into this position before I start listening to all your theories? Because at least you guys know. Cardone, Gary's long as shit Bitcoin. And that makes me biased. You want to know that I'm biased. I'm so long this crap, it's unbelievable. And again, guess what? I am buying 106 right here. I'm going to end with this. This is really, really important. If I didn't sell 106, I'm a buyer at 106. Do you understand that? I mean, it's not perfect, but if I haven't sold 106, that means I must think one, it's going up, and two, if I'm not selling it, that means I must like it here or must not hate it here. And I can't save you from the mistake you made at 76, 66, or 36. I can't do that. What I do know, and I believe to the very, very core of my being, there is only one player that's going to get hurt with Bitcoin. There isn't anyone that's going to get hurt with Bitcoin buying 106.5 if you're willing to hold it 4 to 8 years. Minimum 4. I think 8's better. Point I was trying to make, in 4 years, it won't matter whether you picked up 96 or 26 or 106. It won't matter. What will matter is that you didn't sell it, that you held on to it. You made a decision for you and your family, and you were willing to sacrifice. And you were able to tell your wife, hey, listen, maybe we don't go on holiday. Maybe Bitcoin stole your holiday this year. Okay, maybe the Bitcoin complex, because you waited too late, stole your $25,000 holiday. Okay, so dude, just own it. I ain't going on holiday this year till it gets back to 75, or I've accumulated the delta in Bitcoin. A gentleman ran a number for me last night. He said, Gary, $25,000 invested today, 4 to 8 years, is worth $3.2 million. What are people saying they can't make any money? If you add $1,000 a month to that, Bitcoin purchases over, I think it was 10 years, you would make another $1.5 million. You know, I mean, I don't think $5 million is going to be a lot of money in 15 years, but it's going to be a hell of a lot more money than what you got right now. That is most certain. 106, 600, it's a big decision. It's a big decision. Imagine how the people felt when it hit 10,000. It went down to 3,000. We've had our retracement, okay, because we haven't seen the top yet. Now, we're going to push through this top. We're going to check it out. I think we go to 118, 125, and then we calm down hard and in the next couple of months. So, look, I just wanted to encourage you, if you're not on Bitcoin, there's something wrong. Either, and this is what I think it is, you haven't read the white paper, or you didn't watch the white paper on YouTube, you haven't read 3 fundamental books, you have not spent 25 hours reading yourself, not listening to Spaces, not listening to Scott Pippen, not listening to Larry Lavish or James Lavish or Peter Schiff or Scott Melker, Bitcoin Betty, you got to do your own work. A lot of people go, wow, dude, your ability, all this information. And I study, man. I don't listen to people. I actually read books and draw and try to understand the whole dynamic. So I don't like doing these bloody videos, and then I get on them. I do an 8-minute video the last 36 minutes. So I love you guys. Thank you very much. Forgive me for all my foibles, but I just want the best for the world. I really think, dude, I think we can make such a big difference in the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? Change the whole world. All right. See you guys later. Ciao.